I've lost faith and I've been hopeless. I've been high and I've been low, but every lesson's made me stronger. I can do this now for sure, I know. Your friend is 6 years old, could never break my bones. No, these walls could never hold me.
I can't really remember a time where I wasn't playing music. My whole family is musical. I've come from a family of great singers, and it's just been really a driving force in everything that I've ever done. I can remember as far back as being in Head Start and being on stage and introducing a show like, all right, everybody sit back, relax, and have a good evening. Like, that was my little line, and it's one of my first memories of being on stage. I started singing in church, of course, as a lot of musicians do. My mother is an amazing singer, and so is my grandfather. They both played in like marching bands, as well as my sister. My sister also went the marching band route. And you know, all of our family reunions were us singing together and just, you know, enjoying each other's musical abilities.
When I first met April in the audition, her voice made it like 10 times better. When we got to band rehearsal, she was very straightforward. She wanted to know anything that she could. She wanted to do her job. She was very eager to learn everything that she could and try and get the band to mend together.
I guess the first instrument that I ever played was like the recorder. And then in 5th grade, I started playing viola in the orchestra. And yeah, I've started playing guitar in maybe like 2013, maybe 2012, I can't quite remember. I was like in a music therapy program in college, and we had to take group guitar and pianos, and I was in the orchestra, in the symphony in college, and it was cool to learn another instrument. I already played strings, so I had a knowledge of like the mechanics of it, of you know, there's no frets on the viola, but so I feel like that kind of helped me along in some ways, coming from a super classical background.
She's added so much to the music. She's added so much pizzazz and texture and style and aesthetic to the music, just by herself.
Working with April is amazing. She's really one of the most determined of us all, and she's really the sharpest of us all too. She's on top of, her playing style is really great. She's a great vocalist and singer and player in her own right with her band, and I really enjoy playing with her because she's always just beaming. She's very upbeat and positive, but very direct, which I appreciate.
My playing is very chordal, very rhythmic. And I just, you know, I just do my thing.
From rags to boats, y'all.
What's your story here, man? What is this we're looking at in the back of the van?
So this is where I would sleep at night. I would park this somewhere at night, wake up in the morning, go busking downtown Asheville, come back to this and park it in a driveway, my friend's driveway, and yeah, I did this for a whole year because I didn't get any unemployment, and I was busking anyway, but it made me do it every single day. So this is it. You're looking at it, but I had this since high school, so. And you got the bed there, as you can see, and guitars, and yeah. I remember my earliest memory is me at like 3 years old, and my mother is playing, she's putting on the Gypsy Kings. And my dad just like bought this huge system, and whenever he'd get home from work, It was like a dance party. My parents would put it on, put the Gypsy Kings on. It was like Gypsy Kings, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Harry Belafonte, and Marvin Gaye. The Gypsy Kings were like a kind of, that really got me into trying to figure out what are they doing? What is that? The guitar, it's a guitar and it's got like this nylon sound and I don't know, something in my blood and in my soul just was like, this is it right here, okay. So what is this, you know, how do I get my hands on this? Where can I start, you know?
So originally, I had not met Kelly for the audition process. I had come out for 2 or 3 days for the audition process, and then I went back home. But I did get sent Kelly's clips, and I thought he was a really good interpreter. When I got to meet him in person for band rehearsals, he was very quiet. I think he was figuring things out. And now that I know Kelly, he's hilarious. He's the funniest guy you'll ever meet. He has dry humor, but it's like really funny.
She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. So I remember my mom buying me a nylon guitar from a toy store, and we were living in Cincinnati at the time. So I was like 3 or 4 at the time, so she bought me that. And I remember like, you know, there's a footage of me in my diaper trying to figure out how to do, you know, I'm singing, I'm like, ah, la, 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 you know, stamping and trying to mimic probably Gypsy Kings.
Kelly is a crazy, incredible guitar player. He's like an encyclopedia too. He's like always talking about different musicians and stuff. And I mean, honestly, I'm always like, yeah, cool, yeah. I don't know half of the people he's talking about.
As a musician, he's just phenomenal. He has like a very deep musical knowledge, and I appreciate that too.
He can just play his ass off. He's a beast. I got started playing music when I was 3. I started playing drums, beating on books and pots and pans and stuff like that. I never got my own drum kit until I was 17, actually. But I played in church a lot, and I was in church so much as a kid that I was always there playing drums, and that's what I would do, just play every chance I could get. And so yeah, I was probably 4 or 5 days out of the week I was playing at my church, just practicing if it was empty and they were hanging out doing meetings or whatever. I would just eat, sleep, and breathe drums.
All the great drummers that I've either seen on YouTube or just played with, they all have one thing in common. They all look like they're cooking something, you know? Because it's like they're like a chef to me. And Jazz is very much a chef. He's like cooking with all the things he's learned, all the different styles he's learned over his entire life, you know.
When I met Jazz in the audition process, the thing that stuck out to me was, you know, not that he was really giving it everything he got, but he was listening, you know? Like he was really listening to the songs and how he wanted to interpret it. Whereas a lot of drummers just play straightforward, a straight beat, where they're not really listening to the different dynamics on how they can play the drums and really add to the song.
Influences, just because I was raised so religiously, were rooted in gospel music. Actually am related to some really great gospel people, and my mom grew up with them as her first cousins or whatever. And so that my family has kind of been a staple in that music. And then as I got a little older, I started leaning a lot more into jazz, which led me to so many different things.
He's like almost flawless, you know? And nobody can be perfect, but like he's super solid, and I don't think that this whole thing could be what it is without him, to be real.
So we just finished our first backyard rehearsal show, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. You know, still some work that needs to be done.
The framework of everything was kind of there, but vibe was off. It was just awful. I mean, I remember like storming off. We took a break, and I was like, I gotta walk away. I was so frustrated.
And I feel like it sounded great. I feel like we pulled it off pretty smoothly just for our first show.
It was, you know, we were in our infancy as a band, so.
We'll get him next time with even more jazz.
Hey, I'm Captain John, and welcome to Boat Boot Camp.
We're gonna clean the boat. We're gonna teach him how to chamois.
I'm gonna catch some fish. I'm gonna catch a big one, as big as this guitar.